I would like to welcome a great friend of mine to the show. I came up with this brother, and we've done many musical projects together in the past. He has been like a brother to me. I mean, literally, we've been through some deep stuff together. He is also an artist, a singer, songwriter, painter, uh, a jack of many trades. He is
Real.
also, yeah, that's true. He is also the CEO of Fortunate Roots Designs. He does T-shirts, logos, you name it. He designs sets. Give it up for my homie, Ernest Fortune. How you be, brother?
Woo, woo, woo,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
woo, woo. I like that boy. That's solid. Look at that.
Yeah.
And my boy, my homie, my friend, my brother, for real though. Molly Mall all the way, man. Hey, peace and love, baby, all the way.
Oh yeah,
Thank
no
you for this
doubt.
interview. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I mean,
I'm,
I'm
I'm
watching you as you doing your thing, man. I'm seeing you from afar and what
mhm.
all you doing. You know, I'm proud of you, boy. Like
Oh
constantly,
man,
like I
thank you,
tell people
brother.
about you all the time. Be let them know about Strange Brew Media coming up with
Yeah,
everything you
yeah.
got going. I mean, this cat right here and everybody, you doing the interview, but I'm gonna tell people about you though, you know, because me and this guy used to like see each other like everywhere in the mill. Like, yo, where you
Yeah,
coming from? Like,
it's
and it was
true.
that vibe that we was hanging for so long. It was like, you know what, we should connect,
Hmm.
and we
Hmm.
did. And you know, that was on the one. I mean, the man upstairs was looking in spirit, and you know, I got
Yeah,
lots and lots of family, so they was like, yo, you know, Maul is brother. You know what I'm saying? So where I was, Maul was. Where Maul
yeah, yeah.
was,
No
I
doubt.
was. You know.
That's true. That's true. For the public, y'all, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. This is true, man. We came
For
up
real.
together, man, and man, I'm so glad you allowed me to do this interview, man. I really
Yes,
am.
indeed. Yes,
So,
indeed. Black hole forever, baby.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You know that they don't know about that yet, but we'll get to that. We gonna
Got
get
you.
to that too. All right.
All
So,
right.
tell everyone who you are, man. Let the world know who Ernest Fortune is.
Okay, so my name is Ernest LaShawn Fortune. I was born in Tuskegee, Alabama in 1972. You know, back then, you know, they didn't allow a lot of us blacks, of course, to be born in Montgomery. So mom had to
Yeah,
take that, you know, drive over to Tuskegee, you know what I'm saying, in the 70s and
yeah,
had me, you
buddy.
know. And at the time, you know, my pops was actually in prison, though, you know, in the chain gang,
Hmm.
Tuscadera institution.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
mom kind of
yeah.
raised me, you know, on my own in the beginning, you know, and we left Alabama and went up from my mom's place in Kentucky, in Henderson, Kentucky, and then went up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, man.
Oh yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Lots
The
of family,
mill.
everything else like that. And, you know, I grew up in Milwaukee as a kid, you know, in the 70s and 80s and, you know, seeing everything how it was. And I see the way Milwaukee is now. It wasn't like that when we was first coming up.
Mhm.
And I like to say I am a Milwaukee kid, even though I was born in Alabama. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And grew up like that there. You know what I'm saying? And that's all family, everything. There's
Hmm.
lots of us, gobs of us,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
oh
then
yeah, yeah. They
and
throw
then
them
you know it was
fabulous
like
parties.
yeah, you know, and I grew up, you know, with music always in my heart because you know I come from, you know, my pops, Ernest James White, rest his soul right
Rest in,
now, you
yes,
know, in
indeed,
heaven.
yes, indeed, yes,
And
indeed.
you know, pops, like I told you, I mean, he did everything. He was engineer, you know, he was an artist,
Hmm.
you know, he kicked it with all kinds of people, Commodores, you know, all type Parliament,
Oh
Funkadelics.
yeah, George
I mean,
Clinton.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was on the one. And that had it in my head to be like, you know, love music. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And like Jamal said, you know, I was a singer by trade, you
yeah.
know, but
Oh
Maul
yeah,
was
a great
like,
one.
hey, and Maul was like, yo, no, you hey, flow with me because you good with words. And I was like, I can do that, you know. So I thought it was good, but just to let you guys know, sunshine, you brighten my life. You make me feel all right, baby. Sunshine, you turn my darkness to light, and you brighten up the corners of my mind. The corners of my
Ooh.
mind. Don't let
Hey,
them ever get it twisted, Ma.
y'all hear it? Hey, the
Man,
world, y'all hear it out there. You
on the
hear it.
real.
You hear it right there. We got
So
it. We gonna do
as you
something.
can,
There's something in the works in the
and
future.
that's what's up. That's what's up. And look, I'm
Definitely coming
rocking.
soon.
So this is Fortunate Roots. So I did a design for some people that got this blues band, and this is one of, I like to, when I make people stuff, I like to have my own to get like, ooh, can I get one of those shirts?
Right,
And
right,
so
no
I
doubt,
always
no
make
doubt.
me one. So this phonograph blue is one of the things. I love the glitter, but
Oh
you know, it'd be
man, that's
sparkling.
hot.
So, and
That's
then, you know,
hot,
that's
man.
Fortunate Roots. So I came up
Yes.
with Fortunate Roots when I was younger, and I always wanted to do artwork and stuff like that. So I did go to Milwaukee High School of the Arts, you know, graduated from there. And then that's
Mhm.
right around the time I actually met you, Maul, like right in between there. And so
Right, yeah.
I never let the artwork stop. So I was always painting. And Maul, you know, I painted on everything. It didn't matter.
Mm.
Cardboard,
Oh yeah, yeah,
glass,
yeah, yeah.
tissue. Remember that stuff I did on tissue paper and all that?
Man,
Like,
you was a genius. You was a genius with that shit, man. I ain't lying, bro. You was a genius with that, man. I was
uh,
like, whoa. I
yeah.
couldn't draw, but you know, I had the music talent, man. We put
Hey,
that
you
shit
know,
together.
and love that shit though, man. Like on the one, because it was reflecting of where we was living and what we was going through. Because you know we were going through so much and trying to
Yeah.
come up in Milwaukee and like you know get the love from everybody else, and our music wasn't the same. And then Jamal was creating these lyrical masterpieces, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I definitely can flow with you. You know, and it just kind of went from there. Remember, we'd be marooned in the basement, man, with the
Oh
one click.
yeah, man. Man, making beats with a mixing board and a karaoke machine,
That's
man, and a
it.
sampler.
That's
Man, I mean
it.
that,
That's
and
it.
this was back in like 94, 95, like the
Mm-hmm.
early
Mm-hmm.
90s, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling my age, man.
Most definitely. I mean, we
Man,
always did it to where we would put it together and then we would like perform it for our friends and stuff. You know, we invite Gerald and everybody else over, Quentin and all them guys, and just be like, yo, come check this out. You know, we got new
right,
stuff. So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
always something where we wanted to know what other people thought too as well, even though we did love and you know our music and everything. So I'm thankful for you always, you know, putting yourself in that position where you know you can be heard and where people to see us. And to me that meant a lot because when you just you know you just didn't have a lot of people in that realm. Now you know everybody
Right, right,
doing it because we
exactly.
didn't have that video presence,
No,
you
we
know,
didn't.
like
We
they
didn't.
do now. You know what I'm
No,
saying? You
we
just put
didn't.
your stuff up like that now and
Oh
everybody
yeah, oh yeah,
see
and the
you,
whole world know
you
you.
know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, man. But
Hey
you
Mom,
know,
remember it was
yeah.
like MySpace. I mean that was like the
Oh
first thing that came out.
man, man. For y'all that don't know about MySpace, man, MySpace was the very first platform that
That's right, man.
teleported everybody,
That's right.
and
That's
everything
right, on
else
the
followed
real.
suit. Yep, yep.
Yeah, on the real. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's when we
man.
came up, you know, and like we said, we get to that with the boys, we running around, we having fun, you know, and I was
Mhm.
always, you know, with family and things like that. But I mean, we always made sure that we did what we loved. And then we was like, not just it was cliques of us, you know,
Right, right,
because
right.
it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
the music scene that we stuck around and was
Mhm,
around because that was
mhm.
our life though, you
And
know,
we
and
was
I
thick.
love
We
that.
our clique was large,
Oh
man.
man, yeah,
We was
and look,
it was
I'm bald now,
thousands.
but
It was
I used to
thousands
have
of us.
dreadlocks and all that. Look, the
Yeah,
brother
but
got a little older, but you know, it's
yeah,
all good.
but you got wise too, though. So
I did,
yeah,
I really did.
that's
I left Milwaukee though, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
But one of the hardest decisions in my life, you know what I'm saying? I was looking for a change, and I even hated to leave, you know, my brother like doing music, but we were on a path, and I needed to fulfill things in my life, and it
Right,
was definitely
right,
with you
right.
know with my artwork. I never left music. I just transcended and try to incorporate it within everything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that's
Absolutely.
flowing, rapping, whatever. And
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
people hear that, it's like, wait a minute, you used to be in a group and all that. I'm like, I
Yeah,
actually
yeah, they,
was.
yeah. I mean, a lot of my artists, a lot of my indie artists in the group don't know nothing about this, and that's why
They
they
don't
gonna hear
know.
it now. And
They
it's
gonna
for
hear
them
it
to
now.
hear it. They don't know about
Yeah.
Greedy Jenkins.
Greedy
Yeah,
Jenkins.
they don't know. But hey, look Greedy Jenkins up.
Yeah, that's right.
JENKINZ with a
Hey,
Z.
it's still up there on the
Yeah,
real
oh
though.
yeah,
That stuff
all
is
over.
there.
So yeah, man, but we did a lot, man. We made some history, but
We
it's
did.
all going. The world will see it. The world will see it. This is the
Yeah,
whole point. But
definitely.
on to my next question, though, bro. You got many talents and gifts, man. You got the ability to draw, sing, rap, write songs. Which one of those talents do you feel strongly about, like the most strongly? Meaning, which one do you favor, and did you draw most to yourself to?
I want to say that singing has still been my number one, man. Um, I grew up in the church like when I was a little kid, and I started like a little tight. You know what I'm saying? And like I just recently lost my auntie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I'm
And
so
she would be
sorry
the
to hear
one who
that.
was like pushing me all the time, be like,
Yeah,
nephew, get on up there. And then
she
my
sure
grandma,
did.
like,
She sure
and then she
did.
was like on it. She was just like, every time I come in town, they always want to hear
Yeah,
me sing, and I try
I
not to
remember
let
that.
them down. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying, Maul? And
yeah,
as
no
much as
doubt.
I love to draw and everything else in artwork, I'll never, never stop singing in my whole life existence, because
You
I
can't.
think that is
You
something that
can't.
God wanted me to do, because to me, that was my blessing to the world that was given to me. So I
Mhm.
always wanted people to, feel that and hear that.
Oh
And
yeah,
no matter
yeah.
how I was, and so singing and music really pushed my artwork more, because I had something.
Mhm.
And you know how I was, Mo, I'll be painting and stuff, but I'm
Oh
always
yeah, but you
singing and thing
always
like,
singing. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always
No
singing, and
doubt, no
whatever
doubt,
not, it was like,
no doubt. It's
it's
like
been a
you
long time coming. I mean, no
yeah.
matter what I do. So it's
You
like,
was
oh my
perfecting
God.
both crafts. You was you was perfecting both crafts at one time because you was sitting
Indeed.
there doing artwork and you was so peaceful, but you had that beautiful harmony and them
Oh
melodies you be
man.
singing, man. And I come
Yeah.
up sometimes and you get to rapping and I throw a little beatbox behind it. Man, them was some good days. Like
It was
I told my wife, I said those were our 70s and 80s when we was growing up
on the
back in the
real, on
90s.
the
Back in
real.
the 90s, those are our 70s.
Yeah, that's why I'm tripping on this right now, because this is like, remember, we used to sit around and watch the midnight special
Yes,
and be
we
like
did.
in it.
We
And then
sure
we
did.
we
We
did
sure did.
research on what we loved and liked. I mean, there was
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I remember we used to do the trivia of like, who is this? Who did
Right.
that?
Oh
What
yeah, we used
artist
to
did that?
quiz each
Remember
other, and if you
that?
didn't know it, we
Yeah,
was like, I'm
yeah.
taking points from you.
That's right. You get nothing because you don't know that.
And
So
Quentin, you know this. You know that.
Q
Yeah,
Spliff on the
for
mug,
real.
right?
And Steve too. Rest in peace. Rest in peace,
Yeah,
Steve.
that's
Rest in
what's up,
peace.
man. Steve, man, a boy always, one of the most beautiful bassists and everything I've ever
Yeah,
known.
beautiful
I mean, the guy
spirit,
was very
man.
talented. Definitely gonna miss him. But I
Yes.
do remember those times when we all spent together, though. But music will always, to me, really be number one, and that's as an
Mm-hmm.
artist, all in whole. And
Mm-hmm.
just talking to, and I do on a constant, because I'm always talking to the universe, man,
Oh
and
yeah, you
just
and me
putting my
both.
whole
You
into
and me
God,
both.
and just like
Yeah,
boom, just
yeah.
being very thankful for what I've got now, and
Yes,
how far we've
yes,
come. You know what I'm
yes,
saying, Maul?
yes, indeed, yes,
And
indeed,
it would
yes,
always
indeed.
it will always be number one. And like I said, with my artwork, I put that right in there, coincided. But if I had to, I would definitely sing first. No lie.
That's beautiful, man. Okay, that's beautiful, bro. All right, recall the first time that you discovered that you had a gift, and which one? Which was the first gift that you discovered you knew about?
I'm gonna say I was probably about 5 years old, which was actually art first.
Oh,
And
wow,
yeah, that's gonna trip a lot.
man.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I've been knowing you almost 40 years, man, and I didn't know that's new.
Yes,
Wow,
yes.
wow.
Because when I did the singing, it was more or less like, I didn't know Ernest could sing like that. That's kind of how that one came.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like 5 years old. My uncle sat me down. He was like, here, boy, draw this. And it was a picture of Yosemite Sam. I'll never forget this. I'm sitting at the table. We were living on 8th and Keith, right? And my
Oh
uncle Glenn
man,
comes up,
yeah.
and my pops number is in the other room. And he was like, Ernest, draw this up. And I was like, all right, okay, I'll do it. And so he came back like an hour later. I had drawn Yosemite Sam just like the picture, Ma. And he flipped out. He was like, whoa. He was
He's
like,
like,
what
that
did you?
boy is
He was
a
like,
genius.
did
That's
you
what he
see what
said.
Ernest did over here? He said, you traced that. I was like, no, Uncle, I ain't traced none of that. I was like, boom. And ever since then, I've been able to do, like, if I look at something, I can redraw it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, that's
I've been
genius.
very thankful
Yeah,
on that one, to have a good memory on that.
that's a
And
God-given gift, bro.
that's the part that I love. So that was my first memory for art, period.
Okay.
And that was the good thing that I love. And it just
Wow.
skyrocketed me to like oh, well, now I got confidence to know because I was a little shy kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And next
So
thing you know, it
that opened
happened, and
you
it was
up.
like, boom,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
opened me
It
up. It
opened you
opened
up to
me
the
up.
world. Yes,
That's
yes,
right. And it
definitely,
definitely opened
definitely.
me up for music because I was just a little tight. And then later on, I came and it was like, well, we need you to help sing in the little choir. And I got up there and started blowing. And it was like, excuse me? Did you know Ernest could sing? No, I didn't know Ernest could sing. Well, Ernest can sing and still sing. That's with an
Yeah,
A, not
man.
an I.
Yeah, yeah. You doing it. You doing it, man. You ain't lost it, man. I ain't lying to you, man.
I appreciate that.
Man, you and I, we started rapping. This is gonna get to the black hole stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
and I, we started rapping, singing, and creating music together back in the days. Explain a little bit about those days, the black hole, and how
Mm-hmm.
that and everything left an impact on your life with what we were doing.
Oh man, you know what? The black hole came together. Well, first of all, and I'm gonna tell everybody, like me and Maul start hanging around, and because back in them days, the Tonys, remember the Tonys,
Yeah,
man?
Tony,
Like
Tony, Tony. Shout out to
Tony
Raphael
was hot and
Sadiq
popping,
and Tony, Tony, Tony.
and so
Right to this
uh,
day.
and the real, and so back then, it was like we dressed, you know what I'm saying? We dressed up like that, and
We
so
dressed to impress
it
too,
was
man.
like
I
that
ain't lying.
style. I
Yeah.
mean, the boys was around, and like I said, Maul was everywhere I was, and so we just like, you know what? We need to connect, man. It seems like the vibe is right, you
Yeah.
know. And next thing you know, we start kicking together, then we start hitting, and then went over, and I think you and Quentin was doing something like in the front room, and I was like, are they making music? Like seriously? Are they making music? And me, I'm just like, oh, well, I can sing or whatever, not. I'll flow. It don't matter.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took off from there, man. We was sitting in your mom's
I
house,
remember that.
like in
I
the
remember
front
that.
room, getting a
Yeah,
swerve on
yeah,
everything else,
yeah, no doubt.
being
So
young
true.
men.
Yeah,
Instead
oh
of
yeah,
being out in the
yeah.
street and having problems, we was inside, like taking care of what we love because we were all artists. And it felt good to find somebody that was like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that was in that interest, what I was into, which was music, you know. And when I saw what you guys were doing, I definitely wanted to be a part of that. And I know I was on a different path at the time, but I was like, nah, I think I'm going to switch things over and be around some people that, I think is going to go the path
Right,
that I want to go.
right,
And
exactly,
then,
exactly.
and then after, kicking it and hanging it and everything else, and it was like, you know what? We should do something together, man. Like, really, really. And he was like, oh, well, we kind of like dark in the background, but about the black hole. And I was like, black hole? He was
Yeah,
like, no, the black hole,
yeah.
right?
DA, the black hole. That's like
Yeah.
that. That was the key because I kind of got the
Yes.
idea from the electric company. I know that sounds
Right.
funny. The show, where Morgan Freeman and the other person would
Mm-hmm.
sit out. And by the way, shout out Morgan Freeman. But by the
Shout
way,
out.
they would spit out words at each other. And I was like, man. And
Yes.
I pictured this spiral circle because you drew it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
drew
That's
me and
right.
you spitting words out, and that became that. But
That's what it was, right?
yeah, yeah, the black hole
The
was because
black
we was
hole.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee at that time was really the black
It
hole
did.
because nobody
It
knew about it,
was.
and it was so much
Nope.
going on. But it was like you got sucked into a lot of
Yeah.
bullshit
Yeah,
if
you
you didn't
did.
watch it.
That's right.
And we
That's
call
right.
that the black hole because it sucked
The
you
black
in, and
hole.
it
Yep.
was so
And
negative, man.
it was negative, no
And
support. Nobody was
yeah, no,
backing nobody.
exactly,
That's why I said we had
exactly.
the cliquish thing, and we was just all friends, just trying to
Yep.
support each other. But the
Yeah,
rest of the city
yeah,
wasn't having it. You had to have a certain
yeah.
sound, or there was no
Oh,
push to
that was
that. And
exactly, exactly.
I was like, you know what? Let's do our own, and we'll go from there. And I mean, the vibe was great. So it put
Yeah,
us in a
but
whole new path of
it
music.
put us in a path, but we connected because like
Oh
before it was
yeah.
said and done, before certain motherfuckers before it kind of crumbled down, man.
Yep.
Our clique was so large, man. We were
Oh yeah.
connecting out with so
Oh
many
yeah.
people, and we
Oh, for
could have
real.
took over, and it was beautiful. It was a
It
beautiful
was. It
time at that
was.
time.
I definitely wish they would have felt us more, but I have no regrets of how things have gone and come to where
Oh
we
no,
are
no,
right
not at
now,
all, not at
and
all.
especially like, because I had, family like that was like doing everything. So it was like we were always always around something that was going on. And, you
Right,
know, even
right.
performing for them and everything else. And like, they believed in us and they were the ones that
Yeah,
like
they
showed
did. And they
up and like,
supported
you
us
know, I remember
and packed
Zoo,
how
man,
we
it was
had
like
packed
nights, man.
houses,
Oh
man.
my God. And like
Man,
Zoo
we
was like,
packed.
you coming over, Ernest, you
Yeah,
gonna be down there, you and Ma gonna put together a few new
yeah.
songs and stuff.
Yeah, my aunt Zula, rest in peace
That's
to
right.
my
That's
beautiful
right.
aunt. She was like my second mom as well,
That's
and
right.
she showed a lot of support. I named my daughter Zula after her.
That's
She's the
right.
third
Zula
Zula,
man. That's
Yes,
right.
yes, yes. No,
All day
no
long.
doubt,
So,
all
and
day
then
long.
she definitely put up with everything, but we weren't out being crazy. You know, we was just
No, we
being us,
wasn't.
and
We was just
she
doing
saw
our
that,
thing.
man, and it
Yeah,
was just like, well, baby,
yeah.
y'all go ahead and go do
She
what
had a
you
lot of
gotta
love
do.
for us. She had a
You know
lot of
what I'm
love
saying?
for us,
So
man.
definitely for you, Zoo, on the real, because that lady, man, was, I mean, that's my auntie too. You know what I'm saying?
No
It's just
doubt.
like,
That's real talk. Yes, yes,
and I
brother.
love that. And she knew because she was at the black hole. Okay, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
we was living in a black hole. You
That's
know,
right.
it was
Yeah,
so
and then
dark
we
in
and we
Milwaukee at
didn't
that
give that
time.
up. We
You
didn't
know,
give that up. Even when I
we
moved
didn't,
all the way out
cause
here,
yeah,
it
and
still
I
didn't
took
stop.
that concept to Chicago too,
Mm-hmm.
and the black
Mm-hmm.
hole, cause Chicago was dark too. You know, there was a lot
Yeah.
more going on, but they was operating and moving around. You know, so
Right. Right.
I took the brand there too, and that's how you got Milwaukee and Chicago intertwined.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
Ern moved out to Utah. I went out there,
Mm-hmm.
spent a lot of time out there. You know,
Yep.
so
Then we do. Was that the second album we did? The first? Which
it
one
was
we
the
did? We
first
did the
one. It was
album.
the first
We did the
album. It was
first
the
album
two
going back to
sides to
first.
every story. It was
Two
the two
sides
sides to
to
every story.
every
Yeah,
story, man,
yeah,
for real. And
yeah.
that was a good thing. So the black hole helped me to be the man that I am now because it allowed me to expand and like be that artist, you know, that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times that you don't get to, because I was still doing that when I was younger and even
Yes,
taking
yeah,
care
you
of a
were.
family
Yeah,
and
you sure
still like
was.
be like, you know, with my dog and just like, hey, let's still do this because I
Yeah,
believe in this still, you know.
yeah.
So there was a lot of sacrifice at the
Man,
time, but it
you
was
were
so
taking
worth
care of
it.
your whole family, man.
Mm-hmm.
Moms
Mm-hmm.
included. You was taking care of your whole
Yep.
family. And you was
On the
like
real.
21, 20,
Mm-hmm.
21. We was
Yep.
young, you know, like
I
out
know,
here like
man.
that, being
I
men,
know.
you know,
On the real.
especially you, bro. You
On the
was,
real.
you know, so I take my hat off to you on that one. I really do,
Thank you,
man. I
sir.
mean, you did a
Thank you.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, you just holding it down. Holding it
I'm
down.
trying to, man. God
So
is
in the
giving me
end
that.
result, I say the black hole is my life and was part of my life and still my life that will never end. Just because that brotherhood with you and I, and then the music that brought all of us and all our friends. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that shout out to everybody though. Rock D, all
Yeah.
these cats,
Oh,
man. You
rest
know what
in
I'm
peace,
saying?
man.
You
Lando
know what I'm saying?
Land, man.
Lando Land. I mean, you know,
DJ
we grew up,
Rhodes,
man. You know what
man.
I'm saying? And just,
Popsicle.
man, boom,
All
just
of them.
all these tears for these cats that like we were
Yes.
pioneers
Yes.
in doing what
Yes.
all these cats is doing now, you know, and I
Yeah.
look at them and it's like, I got
Mm-hmm.
no qualms with you, whatever you're doing. You get your
Mm-hmm.
paper, you do what you got to do, you know,
T.A.
but just
Wiz.
realize where you come from, you know what I'm saying? And like, if
Yeah.
there's people in your area where they was a part of you, don't like always try to leave them out because I mean, they help make you and
Thank
who
you.
you are, you know
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying? So
Thank you.
that filters in as a man as well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then we have
Absolutely.
females too that was down, you know, and doing what
Oh
they did, you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying too.
yeah. Peanut
So yeah, the
Gallery.
black hole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was life. I'll just say that the black hole is life, man. On the real.
All right. Explain how you became an artist, painter, and what inspired you to want to create that kind of magic, man? Because it is magic. It is.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I was lonely inside sometimes because I felt like I come from a sports family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We all play sports, things like that. You know,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. I know
I
that.
mean, there was really not a lot of artists in our family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on my pop side, I had my uncle, you know, but he still, you know, did regular things. I mean, like coming up in those days, you still had to make sure, you know, you have a job, take care of things, take care
Mm-hmm.
of your family. And
Right,
you didn't have
right.
room, you know, you didn't have room to be like, excuse me for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about. I had
Mm,
to do the same thing, man.
you
I
know,
really did.
you didn't have
You
room to to be an artist. You just
know.
didn't. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
worked and you did what you're supposed to do. And I was like, no, hell no. You know, I'm so tired of that shit. And
Yeah,
you tell me
yeah.
what I can and can't do.
Do
Like,
right,
you
exactly.
must be out your damn rabbit ass mind.
You get
And
out that
so
box.
I was like, nah, I got to get out that box. And then we had just moved back from Kentucky and we hit back in Milwaukee. This was in '86. I was going to Parkman Middle School. I was doing my thing, and then these people came over for high school, and they said, "Oh, we got a new high school. We got a new high school, and it's called Milwaukee High School of the
Oh, the
Arts."
arts, yeah.
Hey,
West
Ma,
Division.
let me tell you, I'm getting close on this. Man, look at my eyes, like that lit me up, son.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
was like, oh, I was so lit up, and it was like, did you just say a high school of the arts? And they said, yeah. They was like, well, all you got to do is audition and you get it. I can remember I ran home from Parkman, man, and I went right into my mama. I said, Mama, they got a place where I can be me and I can be an artist at the same fucking time, man.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, I was like, Ma, and she was like, baby, I'm so happy for you. And I said to myself, I said, I ain't never had that opportunity like that before in my life. And so she was like, well, baby, what you got to do? I said, I just have to do a portfolio. And she was like, baby, you got plenty of drawings already. I said, I know. So I put my folder together, Ma, and I went over to the school and everything. Mom went with me. I had my interview and I showed them my artwork, and they was like, all right, we'll let you know. And then I got my acceptance letter, and I'm like I am right now. I was like, I cried. I dropped to my knees, I cried, and I was like,
that's a
you
feeling to
just
make you
opened that up for me.
Yeah.
And it made me whole. It made me much more whole because
deep,
now there was a plateau for young black men, whatever we do.
Right.
And motherfuckers wasn't dying. And you know, they're looking at us like we were statistics back then. You know, like, oh, you ain't gonna amount to nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna become nothing. And I'm like, oh no, fuck that. No. I'm gonna be something.
No, you gonna be somebody, exactly.
And I'm gonna be somebody. And look at me now. Look at us now when we still surviving. And you know,
God did it.
Right there.
I give it to God.
Pushed me to where I needed to be now, and I'm very thankful.
Yes.
Very thankful to be able to be there.
Yes.
And so that experience alone really tipped the scales, and then it just was a trickle effect, man. It was like, boom, I'm artistic. You know, Curtis was there. You know, everything else. Your boy Daniel, stuff like that. Rest in peace, Curtis. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And just
shout out to Daniel Givens too.
Shout out to
another
Daniel,
genius.
man. You know,
another genius.
Man. And then here I'm hanging out with cats that was doing what I do. So that really made it better. And those experiences like that, life taught me a lot. And I opened myself up, you know, really for blessings. And I allowed it to come in, and yep. And then it just spoke, and I just kept it in. You know it, just kept it in that chest, and just and here we stand. So yeah.
All right, man, that's beautiful. Explain Fortunate Roots, how long it's been around and how it came about. Because Fortunate Roots, you got to, just like Strange Brew, you got to let them know Fortunate Roots ain't just came here. It ain't no fly by night. It's been around. We like what my boy St. James. Shout out to St. James. Like St. James said, he was the most known unknown. That's us. I don't know how you said to that extent. He said it, but that's how we were with Strange Brew and Fortunate Roots. So
on the real,
explain Fortunate Roots.
Fortunate Roots. Oh my God, dude. So when I was in high school, you know, I'm thinking about college. And so again, we come back now. It's like the beginning of the 90s. There was no real like marketing as far as like jobs or anything else in the art field. You know what I'm saying? It was like architecture. You go do some advertising or some shit like that. Not like I wanted to sell my paintings or anything else.
Exactly. And you had to have a degree to do that shit.
Yeah. And so I was going to go to MyAd, you know. And so I decided not to do that. I was like, all right, I'll go to college with my homeboy and them or whatever not. And so that kind of changed up. And then I'm like, well, you know, I did the military thing. I went in Desert Storm, served my country, you know what I'm saying, all that and everything, and then got out. And I was like, you know what? I want to work for myself. And since I had that idea all the time, like, I don't want nobody to like be above me or over me. And with my last name being Fortune, and I was like, I'm very fortunate for who I am, and I'm proud of my roots. And that's exactly how I said it, Ma, like that. And I was like, I'm very fortunate and I'm proud of my roots. And I was like, damn,
Wow.
how about fortunate roots?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got out of the military in 1991, I think it was October, it was like Halloween Day. And I came back to the city and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start this out. I'm going to work for myself. So next thing you know, I start doing drawings. Then I start doing paintings. And then people start like, oh, well, damn, man, can I buy one of them paintings?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man. They were like, did you do that? And I was like, yeah, man, it's me. It's under my company, Fortunate Roots. And that stuck. And so this was when I was like, I don't know, like 21. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was a young dude. And I was like, but nobody had been doing that. And it was like, wait a minute, you work for yourself? And I'm like, yeah, I work for myself. Nobody was doing that.
You were selling a lot of paintings in Milwaukee.
I was selling a lot, and then there's a lot, and then my paintings that went to different places, and then it was dreams, man. I was creating moments in time, and people were loving it, you know. And I was like,
you were.
That was up. They wouldn't even. I wasn't even like really like doing anything else, but I was always singing while I was painting.
Well, yeah, that's no doubt, that's true.
And that kind of came together, and I think that's why I was, and like I said, I was very fortunate of who I was in my history. And Fortunate Roots kind of it slingshot it, and it always stayed with me no matter what I did. Even when I had these jobs and working, you know, even when we was like, you know, cleaning up there at the spot and everything, man, you know, it was like I still had to do the artwork because it was always a part of me, you know, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, no, we hustled, man, to get what we had. We had to.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And Fortunate Roots
we had
came
to live
off
our
of that.
Life, you know,
and
that's how it came. That's how it came
really
about.
did.
Yeah.
It really did. And that's a solid ass story, because that's like no lie, no joke, and anything else. Like, and I was sitting in my chair probably like last week, and I'm looking. I said, "Oh my God!" I was like, "You realize?" I was talking to my mom. I was like, "Ma, you realize I've been doing Fortunate Roots for like, I don't know, half my life now. What, I'm 48 now." Probably since I was 20-something years old, where the actual name existed. And I did everything.
You've been at Fortunate Roots has actually been around longer than Strange Brew. And Strange Brew been around Strange Brew been around about 18 and a half years.
Because I remember I used Fortunate Roots to do the artwork for all Strange Brew stuff.
You did,
right. Like even the logo, you know, the mixologist, which
I got that tatted on my shoulder. I got that tatted on my shoulder. And people don't know that old logo that I had, that was actually me with hair.
That's right. That was Ma with hair. Everybody just so y'all know. And the cat was a mixologist, and if they look at it, like I had the microphone and the mixing board, and he was like, "Man, that shit is so fucking dope." And that's just kind of how I went. I was like, well, this is the way we did it. The poor man way of learning how to do everything, you know, that's like copywriting everything and learning about it.
We guerrilla promoted, man. We
guerrilla promoted.
We learned about everything. We learned about trade.
And I'm glad it was there though, because being that art, man, is it just upped it for us, because then we didn't have to go nobody to make our logos. We didn't have to go to nobody to do our anything, shirts or nothing. In-house.
That enabled us to do what we're doing now.
Yeah, you know, for sure.
Pretty much everything is in-house now. You know?
I'm definitely proud of that one. Definitely proud of that one.
I just partnered up with St. James, man.
Oh, okay.
Household Name Entertainment, man. That man do everything. Shout out to him for Moonlight Media Music TV. But
yes, sir.
Strange Brew has been around for quite a while, and you know, that's me and me and Ern started Strange Brew Records together, which that's a different entity. But Strange Brew ain't no fly by night, as well as Fortunate Roots. They all been around. They all been working together collectively too.
Yep.
You the
genius, man. Put that together, though, boy, because you was on it. You was like, Ern, you know, because everybody knows, like, everybody called me Eva, like, Maul called me Ern, you know what I'm saying? So, and even though I'm Conscience, by the way, just so y'all know.
Yeah, he is. He always used to tell me I'm your conscience, because I used to be so wild. I used to be so wild in the streets.
He's like, man, you gotta be conscious of yourself. This is what's going on.
I'm your conscience. Chill out, you know. Yeah.
Always got you back, though, boy. But that's just, I mean, you know, that's how it was, though. Like you say, you look out for your brother. You know what I'm saying? You look out for your boys. So, I mean, that always made sense. So yeah, I mean, Strange Brew, Fortunate Roots. I mean, that all ties in together.
It does.
You know, and it's the love that we pushed into it. And the love for music and art that is definitely going to keep it going in the future.
Yeah, it's gonna go far. All right, but let the world know what you're doing now, what you're currently working on,
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's
man.
oh my God. It's so ridiculous
uh,
right now, Ma. I mean, my hat, and I just said this thing is constantly full. Like you look at that, like
wow,
it's so
I believe it.
I've been
I know
blessed
it. I
because
know it.
if
I
don't
know
nobody know, so I worked for Delta Airlines for 15 years, right?
it. Okay.
I'm 48 years old. I've always wanted to retire by the time I was 50, if it was in that, since I was raising family and everything else. And I just recently retired
Oh
from
wow,
Delta
man.
Airlines,
That's
and
lovely.
uh,
That's
and I'm and
love,
I'm very
man.
thankful for those people for everything they did for me. But I've always been doing, like I said, Fortunate Roots and everything else, and so now I have that opportunity to do this full time.
Yes,
And so what I
that's a
did is
blessing.
incorporate the artwork now into multimedia. And so now I'm creating skins and backdrops and everything, since everything is going visual now,
Yeah, yeah.
for
That's the way of the world.
artists. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I'm creating these masterpieces, which I love because I'm getting a little bit of people and then creating a collage, for them,
Right.
for their backdrop, for these skins that everybody are using. I'm doing it with 26 Records out here. They made me their creative director for that.
Wow. Shout
And
out to
and
them.
it's just kind of, thank you, Ma. And it's kind of like they're the people that I got with just another friend of mine
Okay.
that started his record label, and
Okay.
his
Explain
guy.
that. Explain that a bit.
Okay, so Dejan Young is a friend of mine who's out here, and they're him and Ronnie Hooks. Ronnie Hooks is a guy who helped, compose and write, songs like Belle Biv DeVoe and
Okay.
Poison and all those like that. So Ronnie
Okay.
got a nice good line. And then Dejan did Disney shows and stuff like that when he
Oh
was younger and things
wow.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
so they came
That's
together
cool.
and did 26 records, and
Okay.
it's independent, and they hooked up with Orchard and Sony, and
Oh.
what they're giving out is independent deals. So
Okay.
now the thing is, they wanted to do shows since the COVID hit and picked
Mhm.
up, and so now people are still in, and everybody's you subjected not to always be out.
Right.
So
Right.
what
Right.
they wanted to
Exactly.
do is create this backdrop in a sense for people who can do it online instead of just a camera and whatever
Mhm.
else not. So they came to me as an artist and was like, hey, bro, like, we know you do artwork and stuff, and I know you're doing Fortunate Roots. How would you feel about being our creative director and creating
Oh,
skins for artists and
that's
everything else like
large.
that?
That's
And
large.
so it's been like moving, like skyrocketing. Matter of fact, I
Man.
talked to AJ Jamal, the comedian,
Oh yeah.
or
Yeah. I
whatever,
know who he
not
is.
like not
Oh
not
yeah.
too long ago. AJ, shout out to you
Absolutely.
though, yo.
Yeah.
And
Shout
he
out,
didn't
bro.
even meet me or know me, but he was like, man, I know you're gonna put some
Wow.
stuff together and whatever not. And just
He'll
I'm
know
not gonna
you.
do no
He'll know
name
you after this
dropping.
interview, man. He
Right.
will.
I'm not doing any name dropping, but this cat was always funny. I always liked him. And what I do is I get that information from people and take pictures and make collages
Mhm.
from their life, and then so
Okay.
that people can kind of realize. And my artwork is like surrealism, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like a
Yeah.
dream in itself,
Yeah. Yeah. It
and
is. It is. It
and
is.
that's how I want people to feel, and a piece of them. So
Mhm.
what I end up doing is making these skins, and I mean they're already popping, man, and they're loving it. I got a new artist called Bodine out of St. Louis that's going to be doing his thing. We got his skin up.
Wow.
I think he's going on the 28th. Now you can go
Oh
on.
wow.
He's in front of the skin, and it's you get on their plateau, and you have this backdrop,
Okay.
and then you can tip the artist. You can talk back and forth to the artist, but it's live shows.
Oh
So if you
wow.
miss it, you got to wait to the next one.
Oh okay. Okay.
So this has been
Okay.
like one of the biggest things that's been going on.
Oh my.
Now,
Damn.
Fortunate Roots, since I've left Delta, has probably quadrupled in things for me to do.
That's
So
a blessing. That's a yeah.
what I've
Yeah.
been doing
Yeah.
there, Maul, is just expanding that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and, and taking hold of what I could and
Yeah.
and going. So
Stay
like I
busy.
said, I grew
Staying.
up in
That's
Kentucky and I grew up in Milwaukee too as well. So I've been expanding that down there. I'm opening up a shop with my cousin down in Kentucky called Fortune Teas. And then me and my
yes.
brother are opening up 515 Beauty Supplies. in Milwaukee, right on Burleigh.
Yeah,
Everybody, you get a
right up
chance,
the street from me.
you know.
It ain't
Yep,
far from where I live at.
that's right. And if you know that area, it's right across the street from where Lena's used to be. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's another thing. And then that's been my home. And now I'm just traveling and taking care of business and networking. But also, like I tell you, I used to do a talk show back in the day. Remember that, Ma?
Yeah, grown folks
Grown
talk. I
folks
sure
talk, you
remember
know.
that.
Well,
Some of my
shout out
music was
to
played in the background.
that's right. Shout
Yeah,
out to my homegirl, Kara Darling, for
yeah.
all of
Shout
that.
out,
That's my
definitely,
homie. And,
definitely.
we'll probably end up doing some more stuff down the line, but I love to be in front of the camera, talk to people, and
Yeah.
just let people see appreciation of art,
Oh
man. And I
yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
and I think that's what was good about, coming together and doing all
Hmm.
this, and now
Exactly,
having a
exactly.
pot of my own
Oh yeah,
and able
yeah.
to express
And to be
the
able
way
to
I
express
can.
what you want to do and do
Yep,
what you, yeah, exactly.
yep,
That's what I'm
definitely.
telling you, because there's so much in the brain that we want to
It
do,
is.
and there's so
And
much that
networking,
we,
man.
yeah, and this is just the beginning. It's just the
Hmm.
beginning, you know,
Just the beginning.
just the
So what
beginning.
I've done is to create myself uh, a network of people that I constantly deal with, and
Okay.
that made it more powerful
Mm-hmm.
for what I do. So that way,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people, and if I put
Mm-hmm.
something up, a lot of people get to see it and share that. And that to
Right. That's
me
what you
is like
want.
art. It's just
Yes.
like Fortunate Roots. When I couldn't sell my paintings and artwork mall, the first thing I did, I was like, I'm gonna put it on clothing.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I know
That's the
everybody will
that you go.
always be
That's
able
how
to
you
see
get
it.
them. That's how you get them.
Boom.
You
They'll be
got
like,
them
oh,
with
I want a
that.
shirt of this. I
Yes,
want this. I want
exactly.
this logo. I want
Yeah.
that design. I'm like, I
You
got
couldn't
you.
deny it. It was so
I
raw.
got you.
It was so cold. You couldn't deny
Yeah.
it. You know.
So, I mean, and that's where I'm at right now. Everybody knows I'm still doing this. Even when people ask me, they were like, Ernest, you always got something on. And I was like, I got something going on all the time
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
can't sit still. I'm a
Yeah.
busybody
You
and
gotta stay busy though.
I
You have
need to
to.
make shit happen.
Yeah.
And that's how you get things done. If nobody notice, if you want to be successful, let me
Hmm.
tell you right now, consistency is what pays off.
It is.
Keep
It
doing
is.
what
It
you
is.
doing.
It is.
Don't let
Yeah.
nobody stray you from your path.
Yeah.
Okay. If you feel that strongly about something and you know it's right and you do it and you're not messing nobody up, boom,
Yeah.
do it.
Do it.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Get
hear
your
that?
paper,
Y'all hear
whatever,
that?
but
Y'all
that's
hear
the
that?
love. It ain't
Right?
even the paper, it's the love.
No, it's
I'm
the
a
love.
true
It's the
artist.
love. It's
We
the love.
true artists, Maul.
It's the love.
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Because if not,
believe it.
you wouldn't even be doing this. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. To be dead broke and doing this, I mean,
For
not
real.
not dead broke, but I mean, we blessed to have our needs, but we ain't
Yeah.
rich. You know, I
Right.
mean, so
But
you look
only
at it
rich
like
in
that,
what
and
we
it's,
got
we
going
rich,
on right
we
here.
rich in our family and the love
That's
that we
right.
got
That's
surrounding
right.
us and what we're
I feel
doing.
I'm wealthy in art and love, man, and that's going to
Yes,
take us
yeah,
further, way
yeah.
further than the
It'll
cash
take you
flow.
where,
But the
yes,
cash
yes,
flow
yes,
is also
indeed.
going to be, it's coming with it too. So it's good. And you know what? It's like the dawn of the age of Aquarius right now, and the planets are all aligned, man. And it is our time to shine,
Yeah,
and we here
and
for it.
we are doing it, man, my
Yes,
friend.
indeed. Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Um, Now, what is your definition of success, and do you feel like you have reached the pinnacle of success that you want to reach in your life? I shouldn't have said, "Do you feel like that?" because I don't think we ever reached that pinnacle. But how do
Yeah.
you?
Well,
What's your put on that?
I feel that we've reached a certain level of
Okay.
success. And success comes in all levels. I definitely get that. I never want to take away from people's success and what they've
Right.
always wanted to know how far they can get. But to
Mm-hmm.
me, I definitely want to go further than I am now. But I'm not saying that I'm not successful because I'm really embarking on new me, new E, on a sense of now I'm on my own per se, and not having to, go clock in or anything else like
Right.
that. To
Right.
me, that's successful. You see what I'm saying? And I had goals in my life, like I wanted to retire by the time I was 50. I just did that. I
And you
wanted to have
just
my
did it.
own business. I wanted
Yeah.
to own houses. I wanted to do these things. And I made these goals and I stuck with them in order to become successful. So when they say that, I'm successful as hell.
There
You
you
see what
are.
I'm saying? It
There
might
you are.
not be the different levels that everybody else want to see or
Yeah.
whatever,
But
but
no,
believe you
you,
me,
yes,
I'm
yes.
very successful in what I do. And then I get to mentor and tell other people who haven't got there yet in the path that they can go on to
Mm-hmm,
become more successful.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
in retrospect, I say I'm happy where I'm at, but I would sure like to go more.
And you will, and
And I
that's a
will.
and God will see to it. It's in God's will,
Yep.
bro.
And now that the networking has gotten even more so intense, it's definitely we ready for the next plateau, Mall.
Hmm. Yeah,
Definitely.
and we're gonna take it there. But do you have any future business ventures in the works?
I
Because I
actually
know you
do.
like future, future. I ain't talking about what you're working on
and
now.
and you know I always
Because I
you
know
know me, I'm
you
always
like me. You
going
always
for
thinking ahead. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
always constantly going forward. So even
Yep.
though I'm doing music and everything else, the
You
beauty
blowing
supply
up.
is the
You
one
blowing up.
that I'm liking, but now we're really getting into. So my brother's a carpenter, my brother Damo.
Yeah. What up? Shout
He
out Damo. That's
you
my
know,
brother.
and
My
he working and
homeboy.
doing this thing. And we're going to get into more of the real estate thing a little bit more. We're looking at getting into homes, fixing them up, looking for
Wow.
low income so we can
Yeah.
actually, get to that point where help people out. And not so much on the flipping thing because, yeah, you can make the money, but I would like to actually, help people get these smaller homes to
Right.
like own. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because to
Mm-hmm.
me, ownership is
Is
even more
everything
so
is key.
where you don't
Yes.
have to rent. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
indeed. Yes,
And our
indeed.
people in
Yes.
general, though, man, there's a lot of stuff that we don't own. And I want to get to that part where people get that
Mm.
feeling like, you know what? How come you can't own your own thing?
Right.
You doing that
Exactly.
for that person. And that's how people look at me like, how the hell do you retire? What are you going to do? And I'm like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I've taken that
Exactly.
time to like always be consistent in that. And now real estate is like the next one because there's so many houses and apartment complexes and
Mm.
everything else out here that these slum damn landlords and anybody else
Yeah. Yeah.
that didn't take
They,
care of
yeah,
them and
they
they
ain't
just
doing that.
taking money
Exactly.
on a constant when you have people
Yeah.
living in a house for 50 years and it's not even a house. Now
Exactly.
that's some bullshit right
Exactly. It
there.
is. It is.
So,
Ain't
and
never owned it. Ain't never owned
Mal,
it.
I used to sit on the board of directors for neighborhood housing here in Utah and Neighbor
Mm.
Works America. So I
Mm.
was helping people get in homes and stuff like that. And that's still always been my passion because, man,
Wow.
I've lived on the streets. I've been out on the streets. I've
Yeah.
had a cardboard box. I had my own fucking refrigerator box.
Yeah.
I slept out in the cold. I
You ain't
slept under
lying, y'all.
bridges and everything else like
You
that.
telling the
So
truth.
believe you me, to have a roof over your head and something to call your own is
Ooh.
always
It's
that.
a
You see
super
me? You
blessing.
feel
Yeah.
me? On the
Yes.
real. So,
Yes,
and the people
indeed.
like
Yes,
home is where
indeed.
you make it. Well, I
Yeah.
don't want to make it out here in the damn streets and nowhere and nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I want
Mm-hmm.
a place to go to. And I think that to me, it helps out, especially in America and the way things are going is we need that ownership because people feel
Yeah, we
better
do.
when you own it.
Yes, indeed.
You're going to
Yes,
fuck it
indeed.
up if you renting, but if
Yeah,
you
for real.
own
But
it,
if you
well,
own it, it's gonna be
yeah.
super nice
Why you
because it's
gonna mess up
yours.
your
It's
own shit? I
yours.
don't get that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So ownership is
yeah.
where it is, man, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to push out there. But yeah, me and bro is getting together, and we're pushing on with that, and that's going to be our next plateau. Is definitely the real estate business, and get into that. So that's the next step,
That's great.
which is already
That's
happening.
yeah. I
Because
see it. I see it
we're
already
both going
happening.
to school,
Yeah,
and I'm going to
yeah.
be doing property management and everything else. So, keeping that open head and that clear level head, man, to always be humble to the man
Mm-hmm.
upstairs, and then
Mm-hmm.
want to do
Mm-hmm.
more for people because I'm a people
Yep.
person.
You
So,
got to, man. You gotta. You
I
gotta
like to
give,
see people
man.
succeed because I know how to, but I would like to see others, man. I'm
Others,
I'm
I'm the
definitely down
same
for
way.
helping
Yeah,
others. Yep.
exactly, exactly. All right, bro. You've been in Salt Lake City, Utah for a while now. Before you were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Explain how being in these places that you have been in affected your life, goals, hopes, and dreams.
All right. Yeah, definitely. That was a good one. Um, Milwaukee always brought me inspiration just because growing up in like the 70s, 80s, and stuff like that, there was always music around.
Mhm.
There was always, like I say, Summerfest. Like that was
Yeah, buddy.
one big key because it brought all kinds of music together in one place, and it always gave me that inspiration. And I still talk about this to this day. And people still want to go to Milwaukee, be like, oh my God, what is there to do in Milwaukee? And I was like, what
They
is
don't
there
want to come
not
here
to do? You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Shit.
But what they
With this
want to see,
COVID shit
Maul,
though.
is, but after that, what they want to see after that fact is like what we had. Like they're going off of what I talk about when I was younger,
We
and
had
that
a
was
lot.
the
We had a lot. It
and that
was
was a
great.
lot,
It was
you know. But
beautiful.
like I said, with
Yeah.
Summerfest and everything else, and even by me leaving, I still talked about how the music itself still pushed us, even though we didn't get to where we wanted to exactly with Milwaukee. But it was always having a lot of artists, like known ones and everything, that
Right.
always filtered through here. So it
Yes.
always kept
Yeah.
music. It's a very musical town,
It
okay?
is, and
You
people
know,
don't know that, but
and
it's
they know, and
super
we love to
musical.
party, and that comes together. It's like party and music. Oh, that's
Mhm,
definitely coincide with
mhm,
each other. Now, when
mhm.
I left there, it hurt me too as well, because when I came to Salt Lake, there was not a lot of culture, you know, especially for
Yeah.
Black people. Matter of fact, it was like
Oh yeah.
0.8% in how
Wow.
many Blacks that were out
Ooh.
here. So it really took a toll on me. And
That's.
what
Ooh.
the hell do I do now? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It was like I don't
Yeah.
have little spots that I can go to that's us or
Mhm.
things like that.
Mhm.
So what I start doing is I start having parties, and you know me, Maul. I always have my parties, right?
Man, man, your family and y'all throw them. Hey, and
Oh my God!
for the world, his family, and I love his family, man. His family, they throw some fabulous parties. I
I'm
ain't gonna
telling you,
lie.
man. Ever since
They
we was
two, three
kids,
day
man,
parties. Yeah,
we still going. Like you still
yeah,
going.
and I came to Utah on many occasions
Yes.
and stayed at this man's house, and he's throwing some nice parties, great drinks,
Oh
great
man.
food, great
Oh
company,
man.
man. All of
And
the
spreading
above,
that
all of the
joy, and
above. Yeah,
spreading that joy, man, and
always,
spreading that joy,
always,
Maul. You
always,
know, and it was
always.
just and it opened it up, because now I had a new slate to be able to show them what it was really like to, you know, enjoy music in life, and don't
Mhm.
let, you know, all the hardships, you know, be a downfall. Because like, hey, this let me show you something. Put on this little music, do your thing, you know what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
listen to it, listen to the words, the music, and get in
Right.
your zone, man, because we get so lost, you
Mhm.
know, in life a
We
lot, and
do,
we
we
don't have no
do,
guidance.
we
And
do.
what better guidance right there is listening to somebody who's been through it on a song or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it like boosts you up.
Yeah,
So
it go through your soul, man,
it does,
and
it
it,
does,
you
and
know,
it allowed
it's
me to share
therapeutic.
that
It's
here.
therapeutic.
Yeah, and it allowed me to show and share that out here, you know, in Salt Lake and in Utah. And then when they hear me sing, they was like, "Where the fuck are you from?" And what? Wait a minute, you sing like that? Where'd you come from, man? What's
Exactly.
going on? I was like, well, I'm not from here. I'm from Milwaukee,
Hmm.
but this is how we roll. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
We
right,
always
right,
did
right.
music. We were always
Yeah,
on the grind for music.
yeah. I mean,
And
we so
so
close to Chicago, man, until
and
it filtered
Chicago
over.
right there.
The
And I'm gonna
music
tell
is,
you,
whew,
this is how they feel about it. I'm like, well, man, I want to go. That's why I'm saying they might not go right this moment, but they was like, man, I gotta go back there, man. Y'all sound like y'all got some hot spots and
right,
things to do and
right.
all kinds of shit that's going on. I was like, man, it's a music town, man.
Mhm.
It's a music town. So um, in all saying, both places put me in a place where um, I could be myself.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can say that. I can
You
be
gonna be that.
myself.
You gonna be that wherever you go, man.
And
That's
that's true, you
you.
know,
That's
that's
you.
true. If the
You,
earn is
because
earned,
me and
I ain't
you,
never changing that,
we was on the
you
streets of
know.
New York. Me and you
Oh
both was in
man.
New York,
Oh man.
and they thought we was already from there. You know, they ain't know. You
Yeah.
know,
And see, that's the
yeah.
drive. That's the drive that I'm talking about. Like, where are you from? Like, where do you live? And I was like, well, I'm
Mhm.
from Milwaukee, but I live in Utah. And it's like, what? Like,
Yeah,
what? And I was like,
yeah.
hey, you know, it is what it is,
It
man.
is.
But, you
Yeah,
know, we
yeah,
pushing this music no matter where we are because it's a part of
yeah,
us.
yeah.
And
We
I
gonna.
take that music and that art no matter where we go, Ma. And
Mhm.
yeah,
You can
that
take
that
that shit all
that's
over
how
the
that
world. Take it
all over the
all over
world.
the
And
world, man.
sunshine, and that's what I like to do. I call it, my mom called me inspiration, and that's how I always wanted to feel around people, to inspire them,
That's
you
what's
know, to
happening.
do
Yeah.
that and go on and enjoy life the way they want to. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's happening. Yeah, man, for real. All right, bro. Over the years, you have done many great things in Utah for the people and in life in general. Talk about how those things affected you and how you changed lives for other people in positive ways. 'Cause,
Yeah, that's actually a good one, man. You said that. So I got a buddy right now named Boston. He's from Boston, and I've
okay,
been seeing this cat for a long time, man. He used to bounce and stuff like that,
okay,
and I didn't even know he was in really the game of doing the designing and stuff like that. And when he came to me and he was just like, bro, he was just like, man, I've been seeing you for a long time. You always been on your grind. And I admire you because you always were, wearing what you did
mm-hmm.
and presenting yourself
Mm-hmm.
and, being a man and taking care of business. And then he was
Yeah,
just like, man,
always.
can you teach me these things? And I mean, it like super shocked me more because I ain't
Yeah,
never really
you
had nobody
mentor, you
come
mentored
to
him.
me like that. And he was like, man, he was like, man, I'm learning so much from you. And all the things that you and I did, I didn't even realize to myself that the groundwork that
Mm-hmm.
we put together
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to where we are right now
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
was like stepping stones. But to somebody else, it's like a mountain climb because
Mm-hmm.
they're getting the information firsthand, from
Right,
me and
exactly,
from you. You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? So, and that's what I always wanted to do was to be able to help influence people like that.
Right,
And
right,
and even
right.
artists like my daughter's a drawer, my other daughter's a singer. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying?
See, that's what
And
I'm
then
saying. Keep that
and
cycle going.
yeah, and the
Yes.
art is in them. And then my nieces draw. You know what I'm saying? And they be like,
Beautiful.
oh well, my uncle is always drawing, and he do this and that, and
Mm-hmm.
he's always doing his shirts and everything. And even my auntie, before she passed, she used to be
Oh man,
73
rest in
years old. She's
peace.
sitting there folding up shirts and stuff with me because she
Yeah,
believed in me. And I
yeah,
always wanted to push that. And she tell people, well, my nephew do this, and this is what he
yeah,
got going on. I
yeah.
was
Because
like,
she saw
that's
it.
what's
She
up,
already
auntie.
saw it. She
And
already
that
saw
was the
that vision.
influence that I enjoyed. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being a good influence and an inspiration to people as long as I can, and they feel that I can help them or whatever not. But like my mom always say, hey, I can show you better than I can tell you,
Exactly,
and I can always
exactly.
go on that one.
Yes, definitely. Okay, bro. What can we expect from Fortunate Roots in the near future?
Oh man, big things, seriously big things. I believe that Fortunate Roots is definitely going to be around because I wanted and that's why I keep the name the way I've done. I've never changed the name. I've always kept it that um, because I want them to get that feeling like when you say Fortunate Roots, they was like, oh yeah, that's that artwork. And, it's just like that whole thing
Mm,
of we know what you do and we know what it's about.
right.
Because when you say Fortunate Roots, they was like, well, we don't even know what he does. What does he do? It was
Mm,
like, well, artwork,
mhm.
and you know how a lot of people have it in their thing where you got to tell them that you do
Yeah,
artwork,
yeah. They don't. It don't
or you got to
just.
say,
It don't click in
right,
sometimes for people.
Like
Yeah.
Strange Brew. Well, how do we know it's a record company? So we
Right,
got to
right.
say Strange Brew
Or
Records,
you know,
you
or
know,
how do we know it's a media group? You
right?
know,
How do we know
'cause-
Strange Brew? How do
well,
we know
it
it's a
says
media
that.
company?
It says
Yeah,
that, but they don't exactly always correlate it.
no, they don't. And so what I've been doing in this whole time is like always making sure my artwork was presented with Fortunate Roots itself, even the wording. So I had my a lot of my art have my logo, not my logo, but the name itself
Okay.
included into like some of the designs I did specifically for
Okay.
that reason.
Okay.
And what I want to see that on
Start putting
is,
logos though. Like
yeah,
by no means make sure you got a logo all the time.
yeah, and
It
definitely,
should show up on everything you do.
yeah. And the thing
That was
about it
something
is
I
I
learned
tag
and I didn't know
myself
it.
all the time. And when you see stuff, they might not see it all the time, but believe you me, it's definitely on there. And in the near future, I just want to make sure that my company stays solid, and it
Yes.
will be because
Yeah. Yeah.
I get my hands in like almost anything to do with entertainment. Whether
Okay.
you look for me or not doesn't mean I'm not there,
Right. Right.
because I like to stay in the cut a lot, so I'm more in the back end more so instead of being
Yeah.
the forefront.
Yeah. I know
And
that
that's a
feeling,
big
but
part of me because
yeah.
when you CEOing and things like that, you always want to make sure that you have like that level head and that eagle eye to see everything that's going on.
Gotta balance that out, man, because
That's right.
I'm
And
seeing you
just like
on it,
you
but
doing
I'm
film and
hosting. I'm
everything
doing a
else.
lot of stuff, man. You know, it's just like,
Yes, indeed.
you
And
know,
they
and,
know
and
that. And they know that. And so even when I split my Instagram where it's like my personal into my fortunate roots. And then it got to the point where people hit me up like, oh my God, like, would you mind wearing this for us and
yeah,
posting
oh
it?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
becoming
yeah.
an influencer in a way. They want me to
Hmm.
do that. And I like that because it's like I get to show people.
Yeah, you
But
do.
now I get to connect everything. Now,
Yeah,
media, art, music,
yeah,
just like you've
yeah,
always said, Maul,
yeah.
finally get a chance where we can finally be able to put that all together in one pot, man,
Yep, yep.
and still network the hell out of it.
Yeah,
I
networking and make
sing,
it
I
one
dance,
big
I act,
powwow.
I do all that, but then I also draw and, you
Hmm.
know, all that. And I've always wanted to incorporate it that all together. And that's really what made it. And that's why
Yeah,
we're
and
fortunate
definitely,
roots.
man,
So
and
that's
like
going to be the
networking,
future. And yep.
networking with
Yeah.
different companies and people. That's the
Yeah.
future, man.
And
That's
be
the way
able
to
to be
go.
there for different
Yeah,
companies. Like, I don't care.
and be
Like, you know
open
how,
to it. Be
yeah. And
open
be like, you know what?
to
You want me to do one shirt for your
yeah,
business?
yeah,
I'll do one shirt for your business.
yeah.
I'll make it the best fucking shirt you'll ever
Hmm.
have because you're going to represent yourself. I
Hmm.
want you to represent you.
Right,
It ain't
exactly,
about me. I want you to
exactly.
represent you. So I'm going to make the visualization for you in order to be able to push yourself.
Right,
I
right.
have a lot of that. And now to
Yeah,
have it for the common man,
yeah,
come at me,
yeah.
come to me, whatever you would
Exactly,
like. And if
exactly.
i if,
We
if
have
I
to have
can't do it, then I
everything
know
for
others that can. But I
yes.
guarantee you, if you
Yeah.
fuck with me, you're gonna get the best. I'm
Hmm.
not even gonna lie.
Hmm.
I'm down on my product all the way 100.
Hmm. You definitely are.
So in the
This man is
future,
telling you the truth.
more things to come.
You definitely gonna get the best. He works 10 times out of 10, always 110% hard, man, and he
On
does
the
his
real.
thing, and
On the
he
real.
working, earn. But what can we expect from Ernest Fortune
Ernest
in
Fortune
the
is
future?
definitely well, okay, so now that Fortunate Roots does doing this thing, I definitely want to be able to um, have more time really for my kids and to be able to do things with them and really be there. You
Hmm.
know, I lost my
That's
pops at
key.
54, you know what I'm saying? And
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
key.
he wasn't,
That's key.
he didn't really get a chance to see my kids and grandkids.
Hmm.
So I want to be around for my children and my friends and family. And I apologize to anybody for my absenteeness or anything else. I was just getting E together, and now E is definitely together even more so. So I want to let the world know that Ernest Fortune is here for you. If you ever need me talk, I mean, rap, whatever, like we can like combine our talents and do things that I'm capable and able to do. And I want to be there for people because being so far away from everybody, it really changes on how a person is. And I want to let the world know that I am here and I'm here for you if you
So,
need me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to
so,
be that type of a person. And I want Ernest Fortune to be remembered as, this real good cat that cared about people and was always there for the people that he loved and who loved him as well. Because when the time comes at the end, I'd like to have a nice big party for everybody celebrating, the life that I led
that sounds good,
as
man.
Ernest Fortune.
That's deep, bro. That sounds really great, man. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
For my last question, bro, tell the world where they can find Fortunate Roots merchandise and how they can get in contact with you.
So everything is online right now. I try to do websites and things like that, but trying to keep up with that mall a lot of times it's a little bit harder. The one thing I've
Ooh,
learned right now
yeah,
is
yeah.
you can't keep up with everything. So what's going to end up happening, you can
So
always
can't,
reach
man.
me at Fortunate Roots on my Instagram, Ernest Fortune, because it's all connected. The merchandise, you call me or you text me, I put the orders together. But now I'm going to have this place called Store Frontier,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be uploading, which will be happening within the next week or so. I'm uploading all my stuff for Fortunate Roots, and then I'll be linking it to that on my Instagram and Facebook. So then they'll be doing it for me, and that way it gives me time to be Ernest and be the artist.
Right,
So
exactly,
that's what's going to
exactly.
happen. So look out for it, Maul. But if you need me, it's right there, Ernest Fortune or Fortunate Roots, on Instagram or as well on Facebook. So, and I'm there for you. And you can hit, everybody hits me up because I'm connected with Strange Brew Media.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's
which
true.
has escalated me even more so. And I appreciate it. And I love you for that,
Thank you,
bro.
brother.
You
Thank
know,
you.
some people I don't even know. And I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you right away, but I'm like, who the hell is that? But then they were like, oh, that's an artist. And I'm like, okay, click. And I
Yeah,
like the hell out of you. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
It takes me time because I do be busy. I'm an artist. So I'm always drawing and
So
or
yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah.
in creating. But
We
you can
are we
find
are
me there.
busy. We are a species of busy
You can
people.
find me there, man. You know, you
Definitely.
can find me there. So Ernest
Okay.
Fortune, Fortunate Roots, always.
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, that's that's
Y'all
that's
hear
that's the
that?
life. That's
Y'all
the
hear
life.
that? For the world. Y'all hear that, man? Man, I love it, man. It's a great interview.
On the
This
real.
concludes my interview, though, with brilliant artist Ernest Fortune, my brother, my friend. Man, it's been so cool having you on. I've enjoyed this interview. Thank you so much for giving it to me,
Thank you,
man.
Ma.
This
Thank
shit
you,
is
man.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
it's been a long time coming, and I know that a change is gonna come. All right, now.
All right. One love, brother.
One love, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Brilliant artist with my friend, my bro, Ernest Fortune. Join us again next week as we interview more great artists. We also got them hot written interviews as well. Visit us on all the platforms that you see at the end of the show and subscribe. I am Jamal Jupiter. And until next time.